What's going on, guys? They actually just recently won an award on their people skills non-alcoholic. So we're gonna try their alcoholic and their non-alcoholic. Global's coming in today actually to interview them, so cheers. That's alcoholic, very light, it's got a little bit of fruitiness in there. It's nice and crisp. See the difference. Wow, it's very similar. Apparently have an extractor, which actually they keep the same beer, it just gets rid of the alcohol content, and it's very similar. They have great non-alcoholic beers as well. Cheers. This one is better though, of course, but very close. Cheers. Alright guys, I got a flight. We're gonna start off with the Golden Hour Hazy Pale Ale. Super excited for this. This is a new one. It's 5.5% and it's supposed to have peach, mango, and pineapple. So let's try it out. Cheers. That's really delicious. Definitely taste the peach in there. A little bit like that hoppy flavor in there. It's really nice to accents it. Pretty smooth. It's got like a nice body for, you know, a hazy pale. Super good. That one's called Golden Hour. Alright, moving on to a hazy IPA. This one's called Late to the Party. It's coming in at a 6.2%. Let's try it out. Interesting. Yeah, it's pretty hoppy. For 6.2, it's really nice. It's got that citrus in there, really tasting those hop flavors. Super smooth though. How about? Yeah, that's actually really good. It's a little bit more bold on the hops, but in a good way. Super good. Alright, we got one of their small batch IPAs. That's a 3.9%. It's called Session IPA. Cheers. Oh wow. It's like kind of orangey almost. It's really good. Really light. It's got lots of flavor. I actually really like this one. It's like a citrusy flavor for sure. It's actually really delicious. Wow. Cheers. Wow, it's like nice light, kind of orangey, citrusy, almost lemony. That's super delicious. Wow, really crushable. All right, I was told to try this American Red Ale, 5.6% roasted coffee and bready. Let's try it. Oh, it does smell coffee. Ooh, that's nice. Very roasted coffee-like flavor. If you're into red ale, this is pretty good. Cheers. Wow. Yeah, all in all, that new Golden Hour was amazing. I love trying that. I've been wanting to try that, but this Session IPA is just really delicious. Try some more and cheers. Maybe order some food.
It's all like everyone on the but that's what
magnificent honor for us. It's been one of our passions for quite some time, trying to make the greatest non-alc in our opinion in the world. So we're officially the best in Canada. We're still working on the world, but magnificent honor.
What's going on, guys? It is ginormous back here. I did not expect it to be this big. Right now, Graham in the back right now is doing a interview for Global. They just won gold on their people skills 0 ABV non-alcoholic beer. So that is amazing. It tastes great. But after he is nice enough to show us around at this lovely brewery and how they make their delicious beers here at Toolshed. So let's check it out.
Yeah. I think maybe one of the most important things here is our pilot system. This is kind of like how it looks when you get started, you know, in our case, in the backyard tool shed, right? You know, you don't have a big system. Like this system here is in the top 5% of breweries in North America for size. But you don't get to there unless you're really good at brewing in your backyard tool shed. And so even the company Blickman that we built our pilot system out of is one of those systems that as a home brewer you cherish and you go, oh, one day if I could have Blickman gear. The guys that over-engineer everything, right? And so, so this is a really incredible part of our process because I don't know if you saw out front, all the brewers are sitting around a table right now doing a quality control sampling.
Okay.
Every single beer that gets brewed here gets brewed over and over and over and over. And then they try them. They try them 100 times. They try A, B, C, D testing. So like most people that are trying them don't even know what they're drinking. Yeah. And they go, okay, I like C. C is clearly the best beer. And then they go, okay, well, let's brew that again. Let's change one more variable. And only when we're brewing a style that now wins the blind taste test against all other, you know, of that variety in the market.
That's quite good.
Then you get to brew in the big system, right? Until now, we practice on these little fermenters. You know, this will do like kind of like, you know, 6 kegs. And we'll put those kegs on tap. You can go outside right now and try some of the funky beers we're working on and give us your feedback. Maybe they're shit, maybe they're great. And but we take all that and that's part of the process on how a beer makes it to the mothership, right?
That's awesome.
And so now, once it gets here, I mean, these are 10,000 liter tanks, and so, you know, 200 kegs. That's a lot of beer. So if we were to screw up a batch, it's a lot of money to brew something that you're like,
no kidding.
Right?
No kidding.
So I kind of compare it to a chef. You don't get to just say, I have an idea for a restaurant, I'm just gonna make it, it'll be successful, trust me.
Yeah,
you gotta try it, you gotta get people to
100%,
sample it, right?
Man. Yeah, I love that. All your beers are amazing so far.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's a lot of passion, of course, that goes into it.
Right.
But then it's a lot of R&D, and that's what nerds
100%.
do.
Yeah.
And honestly, like beer is just 4 ingredients.
Yeah.
But if you could make a beer repeatably, over and over and over, because you're a nerd, you're like, kind of like making it like you're in a lab.
Yeah.
And you could identify all the variables, isolate them, and then pick one and control it like individually, one at a time.
I love how you guys critique everything. That's why everything's so good.
Yeah. You say this variable will change. Oh, that was worse. We're gonna go this way. You're like ones and zeros, man, and making the beer continuously better each time. That's part of the process. So while it's only 4 ingredients, the variables are limitless. Right? 1 degree of temperature in the brewing process changes everything. Obviously, packaging is an important thing. Once the beer's fermented, we have to carbonate it and package it. We package both in kegs and in cans. And so kegging is, you know, the best way to transport beer from the brewery to your face. There's, you know, we're trying to keep light and oxygen out of the beer, and that's just the best transportation vessel.
Okay.
Canning is super cool, so I want to show you the canning.
Sounds good.
So it's not running right now.
That's okay.
Usually it is running, but we just actually moved it, so so it's not running currently. But so a couple things that are magnificent about this process. You know, we made a decision. Well, the decision was made for us early on that we would have blank cans and we would label them ourselves.
Okay.
The reason is, can manufacturers, they require you to buy a full, like 50-foot sea can per SKU of labeled beers, because the printing machine prints them as they manufacture cans. So they say, well, the waste when we're changing print plates is so much that you have to order this many cans so that the loss is appropriate for us, right? And I go, well, that sucks. I can't afford $100,000 in cans, and where would I store 3, you know, sea cans of cans? So I was begging them to put my first 3 beers into 1 sea can, and they said, no, we don't do it, here's why. And I'm like, okay, well, what about the cans that don't get printed? Like, are those waste? And they go, yeah, we recycle them, and they go back into the system. And I'm like, can we buy blank cans? And they're like, yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, and I'm like, what's my minimum order for blank cans? And like, we don't give a shit. You can buy a half a pallet. So we were back, right? And now what that allowed us to do was implement this labeling system.
Yeah.
Where all, like, we've been around for 12 years now, and still to this day, we call them Brights. We put the Bright cans into the system. They go into the depalletizer. They come down through this twist rinser.
Oh yeah.
They come into here. They get a label gets blown onto the can. It goes into a heat tunnel. The can gets the label gets shrunk onto the can. So you know, all of a sudden, it looks printed, right? Like high definition, full gradient blends, and like all sorts of like super. You know, you got way more options than just typical color print.
That's awesome.
Picks up a date code stamp, comes into the filler.
Oh.
Right? The first tubes flush all oxygen out of the can using CO2, and then the next tubes fill the beer from underneath that CO2 buffer. Like there's a little like a pillow of CO2, and it fills it. Comes through here, picks up a lid, gets pressed on, goes into the seamer. The chucks seam the lid onto the can, gets washed, packaged, and then out the door she goes, right?
That's amazing, man. That's really cool.
It's cool. But what's really cool about it is during the pandemic, we should have gone out of business.
Okay.
Like 75% of our customers are bars and pubs and restaurants. And so when all that shuts off, you have to do liquor store sales. And we have a lot of liquor store sales, but what saved us was going to all the other breweries that don't have a system like this. Like this is like $500,000. So all the other breweries around the city that couldn't package their own beer and sell in liquor stores, we went to them and said, we'll brew your beer and package it for you so you can stay alive. And those contracts kept us alive.
That's awesome, man.
So you'll see cans right there from Cold Garden.
Oh yeah, that is Cold Garden.
Amazing brewery in the city that...
I still have to check them out.
Yep, check them out. They're amazing. We love them. They're great friends of ours. Any beer you ever have from Cold Garden in a can, we brew it here. We package it
Really?
here. Yeah, we do it
Wow,
for them.
that's amazing. I did not know that.
Yeah, and
very
we do
cool.
that for a lot of breweries, and that's what that decision early days that we thought was like, it'll be more expensive. I hate that we can't do it the right way.
Exactly.
All of a sudden, it's the reason we're alive today because we get to support.
That's the
all
way
the
to do
other
it. Yeah, that's
breweries around
awesome.
us. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So yeah, it's kind of neat. It's part of why we're alive today. And what's extra special is that this canning machine is, you know, the greatest canning machine on the planet. Like the best manufacturer of canning machines on the planet. Do you know where they are?
Where?
Calgary, Alberta.
Really?
It's made right here in Calgary.
That's so awesome.
Like, globally, the canning phenomenon was born right here. Yeah.
Wow.
Cask Global Canning Solutions. So
That is wicked.
Yeah. Our support number is area code 403. Right? It's pretty awesome, right?
That is really awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Oh,
thank
yeah,
you so much
dude.
for showing me around. Love the place. Really awesome. And I'm gonna have some more beers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Yeah. There's no gas, there's no electricity. At a barbecue restaurant, everything is natural fuel. It's charcoal, it's wood, right? Everything smokes properly.
I tasted on the chips. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
that flavor was.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. So to have an oven that just doesn't even have electricity or gas.
That's
it's
awesome.
all proper wood, proper fuel, right?
Get that meat.